The penultimate round of the Southern Tier Elite Series 25 to 26 season is live here on BRP TV, and welcome back, everybody, to the virtual dirt track at Charlotte, and welcome to the Workin' Man's 50. I am Joe Donahue alongside Jonathan Howe. As always, we are here for race 9 of 10 for the points-paying races of the Southern Tier Elite Series this season, the Workin' Man's Series, and we are back in the swing of a fantastic championship fight. Jonathan, we come into this race with a little bit of a tight battle, but it's not as tight as we've maybe seen in past seasons of dirt, big block, modified racing. But with the schedule of events coming to Charlotte and then finishing up next week, I don't know, do you feel like we're in a tight championship battle, or how are you feeling about the points coming in?
It kind of feels like, Joe, this is a moment where Cole Henschel just can't beat himself. You know, I don't, it's not that I don't think Gary Edwards or maybe a Cody Higbee can pull off a performance good enough to get up there and steal away this championship, but I think based on the consistency and everything that we've seen from Cole Henschel this year, he's going to have to make a little bit of a mistake, you know, and that little bit of a mistake might just mean instead of finishing on the podium, he finishes 5th or 6th, right? Like, if something like that happens and a Gary Edwards or a Cody Higbee goes out and wins, that could be the moment where this series really turns on its head heading into the final week. But tonight, I think it's all about Cole Henschel just not beating himself, do what he has to do, take care of business, try to get another podium spot, and maybe even a win, which would really, I think, potentially ice this thing heading into the final week racing.
Yeah, I definitely think we're in a position for Cole to close things off to the rest of the field. Now, with a roughly 21, 22-point lead now, I don't anticipate Cole taking it all tonight, but I definitely think if you get a good night, like if we see that 4-car in victory lane at the end of the evening, and Gary Edwards, Cody Higbee, they can't put up the numbers that really get them that close, I definitely think Cole's in a sort of start and you're done situation next time out. So I think so. We've got some nice championship battles going through the top 10, though, like Gary Edwards and Cody Higbee for second place. Isaac Salas has been on a fantastic run the last few weeks that are going to make things exciting. But, yeah, I don't know about Cole Henschel at the top. I think that's pretty much set.
It's just hard to say right now because the biggest thing that I'm looking at is zeros on the board in the win column for both Gary Edwards and Cody Higbee. You know, what could a race win do in terms of gaining into that lead if one of them could reach victory lane here tonight, and then maybe follow it up, double it up with a win next week at Oswego? I mean, those are the two things that I circled and point to, in the fact that neither of our second or third place drivers in the points have won a race yet this year, but they've been close. I mean, Gary's been all over it, a couple of podiums, same for Cody Higbee. I mean, he's got a second place, he's got a third place, a couple third place finishes. So to me, Joe, I just look at this and say it's not quite over, but Cole Henschel definitely can take care of a lot of business and do himself a favor by having a good night tonight and taking care of business like he normally has been. You know, look at his bonus points, right? What he's achieving in the heats, right? Those things matter. You know, Gary Edwards has had maybe a bit stronger performance when it comes to the heats, more finishes towards the top. But again, sometimes you just have to maximize the night, take what the car, what the racetrack, what the field will give you, and then that might just be enough to wrap up a title, or at least put yourself in position to wrap up a title as practice comes to an end here, Joe. It all kind of starts right now with qualifying. That is going to determine a lot about who's getting those heat points, those bonus points, and who may have some speed here tonight.
Yeah, so qualifying comes into play here. 5 minutes for the drivers to make 2 laps around this racetrack. You see the sun seems to have disappeared as we come into this session here. So 2 laps for everyone to come out onto the track. You're seeing Matthew Schultz take to the track in car number 24. And then, like Jonathan said, just to tally off of that, so I absolutely agree, Jonathan, when you come into what we've seen with the Southern Tier Series this season, you want to get up front for the heat races because you want to get those bonus points. Even though we've got fairly sizable gaps in some places for the championship, definitely those extra 2 points are going to make a difference in what ends up happening at the end of the next race, the finale. But either way, the track position is really important to go through the heat races and then go into your feature. And one of the guys who's been really good at that, actually now as you see the shake up on the board, Cody Higbee goes to the top. One of the guys who's been really good at that has been Gary Edwards III, and also Isaac Salas has been significantly better than most of the grid when it comes to qualifying this year.
Yeah, he has been bad fast in turning just a lap or two when it counts. Matt Schultz, we were watching on screen there. He's one of those drivers that's in a real tight points battle towards the back half of the top 10. And, that's kind of where 1 to 2 points in a heat could really make a difference. So I'm sure Matt would love to start near the front of his heat and score some bonus points and maybe work his way a little further up the top 10 if possible, or at least stay inside the top 10 as he currently rides 9th in points coming into tonight. Cody Higbee still on top, but here comes the 5 car. This is Isaac Salas. This is the guy to watch, Joe. You talked about him. He has been bad fast and constantly jumping to the top of the charts, and he is the last driver to take a time here. So we'll see what Isaac can bring.
Yeah, Isaac Salas
to the top at 5th.
Yep. So give him one more time. He's got one more time around here, Jonathan. We'll see if he can go a couple steps up on the second lap. As Salas comes across the line, he's the last car to come across to qualify, and his second time is not better than the first. So Cody Higbee is going to be your fast qualifier tonight, and will sit on the pole for the first heat race of the evening, which we should see the session jump right over to. And Jonathan, with 18 drivers, we're going to have 2 heat races tonight, 9 apiece. Everybody's going to start the main, so this is just up for the bonus points and the starting positions in the feature race to come. But Jonathan, I'll hand you the starting grid. It's on the screen here for everybody to read along.
Cody Higbee on pole, doing everything he can to make sure this title fight stays alive. He'll start up front alongside his championship hopeful Gary Edwards in the 21. Isaac Salas, who's been bad fast, on fire as of late. He leads the series and wins. He'll start from 3rd on the inside of row number 2. On the outside, Bo with a solid qualifying effort. He'll start 4th in this one. Anthony Perrego's been to victory lane in a feature, looking to get back to it after winning our opening race of the season. He starts 5th in this one. Dylan Smith will start 6th. Brian Lawson in the 57 lines up on the inside of row number 4. On the outside of row number 4, it's Austin Smith. The brothers Smith will be nose to tail on the outside. And starting shotgun on the field, 9th in this one, Mikey Horton in the 12. This is a pretty stacked one, I gotta say, Joe. I don't know. I feel like everybody will mind their P's and Q's, but between Higbee, Edwards, and Salas, probably going to be a pretty good race, and don't count out Anthony Perrego either.
Yeah, Perrego's been bad fast, just a great driver. He's won, and he's strong, and Gary Edwards has been very solid. Now, Edwards definitely had a swing there where he was running top 3s at the end of the night a lot, but can't count him out. Can't count out Cody Higbee, or obviously not Isaac Salas. Salas, if he came into the season with the momentum he's carried lately and hadn't missed that one race that he did, or I think 2 races actually, I think Isaac Salas would be an easy title contender. But alas, Cole Henschel's been really putting up good numbers. So we're going to come around. Barney in the flag stand will wave the green flag for the first time tonight, and we are underway for the first heat race of the evening. 8 laps for these 9 drivers, and Cody Higbee gets a great start off, Jonathan.
A little bit of contact there. Anthony Perrego trying to make the inside work on Isaac Salas. They came together. Edwards backing up on the outside. Oof. Salas gets a pretty good run in the middle. More contact there. Is that Kerbo? Bo Kerbo's going to go around, collect a few other cars towards the back of the field. I believe that is Austin Smith that got a piece of it, and I'm not sure who the other one was that was involved in that one. That might have been Mikey Horton.
Brian Lawson, I believe. There.
Yeah, it is Lawson.
Yep.
So, tough break there, but a bit of a chaotic one, and the heavy hitters have found themselves in the top 4 spots.
Yep, so Cody Higbee leads the way, Isaac Salas in 2nd, Gary Edwards in 3rd, Anthony Perrego 4th, then you got Mikey Horton and Dylan Smith. Actually, there's a little battle going on there. And down on the inside, Dylan Smith will try to take that position back. The track's definitely still a little bit tight on the cars and gripped up, so Dylan on the bottom actually, I would say, has a slight advantage, but there's almost a progressive type banking going on in the corners of this racetrack, Jonathan, that Mikey Horton's holding up on the outside.
Yeah, it's very flat on the extreme inside line, it looks like, compared to what the drivers running on the outside are dealing with. Now, Cody Higbee Pretty smooth sailing out front. You can see Salas is trying that outside line, seeing what it'll give to him. Gary Edwards has fallen back to third. Salas looks like he is bad fast once again, which could be bad news bears for the rest of this field. We'll see how the redraw is going to shake out. I mean, that's going to determine a lot of how much work a guy like Isaac Salas is going to have to do. I mean, Cody Higbee right now up front looks pretty content to just lead this one with just 2 laps now, 1 lap to go. Battle heating up for third. Let's keep an eye on it on this final one, Joe.
Yep, so Cody Higbee up front, Isaac Salas, and then the 2 black, white, and green cars nose to tail into the final corner there, but I think Gary Edwards has it pretty much under control as back to the front. Checkered flag comes out. Cody Higbee is going to be your HigFab Chassis Heat Race #1 winner over Isaac Salas in second place. Good run for him. Then Gary Edwards the third. Anthony Perego and Mikey Horton will be the final driver to get the bonus points. And the sun seems to have come out for Heat Race #2, Jonathan.
Yeah, I have a little bit of cloud cover, and here we go with the lineup. Kenny Coe going to bring us to green in the 22 car. Matthew Schultz on the front row as well. Anthony Roselli will start up in the top 3 on the inside of row #2. Cole Henschel, your point leader coming into the night, will start 4th, starting 5th in this second heat. Jeff Sharp in the 28 ride to his outside. Richard Ritchie in the 55 will start 6th. Dean Reynolds, Dirk Hardeen back with us, starting 7th in that 79. Dominic Roselli also back, running the 80 car from 8th, and Bud Molyneux will round out your field. 9 cars set to go here once again, Joe. And pretty heavy hitters, pretty deep field, I would say, in the first heat, but kind of, you know, at first I was like, oh, maybe Cole Henschel will be able to make quick work of this field and run away with this one, and I'm like, oh, maybe not. You're giving Anthony Roselli some good track position. We've seen some strong runs from Matt Schultz. We've seen some good efforts from Kenny Coe as well. This is not going to be a cakewalk for Cole Henschel to go out there and steal this win.
No, sir. I'm going to put you on the spot, Jonathan. The last broadcast we did from this racetrack, who won?
Ooh, was it Anthony or was it Dom? Was it one of the Rosellis?
It was not.
Is it our pole sitter, Kenny Coe?
Nope. Driver actually is not here tonight. It was Mike Brewer. However, the other 2 steps of the podium were the Roselli brothers. So
that's right.
You definitely have to watch out for the 2 of them come feature time. Green flag's out in this heat race. We'll see if Dominic can get a little bit further up and Anthony can hold his track position. Kenny Coe, that was an absolutely diabolical start to this thing, and it almost doesn't even look like it worked out for him as Matthew Schultz is going to take the inside line and back to the stripe. I think the 24 car is going to barely edge out and get that first lap led, Jonathan.
Yeah, it kind of looked like Kenny Coe forgot where the brake pedal was for a second there. Just sailed it in, did not lift for what it looked like on the inside there, but he's gained control of that race car once again. You see Sharp and Dirk Hardeen coming together a little bit down that front stretch that last time by. Now, I'm liking what I'm seeing from Anthony Roselli. It looks like he's got pretty good pace on the inside, and especially through 1 and 2 that last time, looked like he could get a real roll through the center and get a good run off. I think that's going to be pretty key later on in the evening to make this track work for you on the bottom side. You got to be able to roll the middle off, and see now Cole Henschel going all the way to the high side there, trying to find his way by Roselli. Great racing so far, Joe.
Yeah, good stuff, and they're all staying real tight together right now. There's just enough in the track, but I think it's kind of working to the testament of how good these drivers are that we're staying so close together here. See Jeff Sharp and Richard Ritchie getting into a little bit of it as we come past halfway in this heat race. Kenny Coe still leading pretty casually over Cole Henschel, now moving up into second place. Schultz is falling back a little bit, just that the 24 car went up to the top of the racetrack, and it seems like that's almost hurting that car versus when he was down low at the beginning. 2 laps to go, still Kenny Coe up front.
How about the pace from Richard Ritchie? Good to see him having a solid run up there, putting the pressure on the top 4, trying to hang with Roselli, who's trying to work over Schultz. Now you see Henschel trying to get by the 22 of Kenny Coe. Not going to happen. White flag in the air.
One more time around for Kenny Coe. Cole Henschel right in step behind Matthew Schultz, Anthony Roselli, Richard Ritchie make up your top 5 as they come through the final corner. Cole tries something on the bottom, not going to have the momentum. Kenny Coe is going to be your HigFab Chassis Heat Race #2 winner over Cole Henschel, Matthew Schultz, Anthony Roselli, and then Richard Ritchie will get that final bonus point from the heat races, and that will end the 8 laps for both of them, and we should be moving into our warm-up session. Yes, indeed, as there is no consolation needed when we only have 18 drivers on the grid. Jonathan, what do you think of your viewing pleasures from the heat races? What do you think it's going to play into? How do you expect the race to go tonight, this 50-lap feature we've got?
Man, I'm having a hard time. I think it's all going to come down to the redraw. I think track position is going to be huge from what I've seen so far. It looks like it's going to be hard to make a pass. It's not going to be an easy situation. You're not going to just blow by guys. You're going to have to set them up. You're going to have to maybe spend a corner, maybe two, maybe a lap, maybe two, before you can truly clear somebody with how fast and how good all these guys are, especially towards the sharp end of the field, Joe. So I'm not sure what I'm expecting totally just yet, but I feel like I'm waiting on that redraw and how that's going to shake out to see who's going to have the advantage.
Yep. So, well, it's pretty easy to say. I mean, I know we're going to have an 8-car invert, as this is a 50-lap feature race tonight. So we will have to wait and see who ends up on the pole, and we can run through the entire starting grid once we get to that point. Warm-up session. Going to let these drivers kind of work in the racetrack a little bit. I'm going to come up here to this 57 car. It looks like we've got new paint on the side for Brian Lawson tonight. Looks rather sharp, especially with the glare. Nice shiny bits here. You'll see it kind of coming out of the corner. Yeah, it looks nice. But yeah, we'll see. We're gonna buzz in the track a little bit, and the sun has set, so that's also gonna play into this race now, Jonathan. We haven't seen nighttime racing, especially not here, in quite a while.
No, I think it's going to be interesting to see where the fast line emerges from this racetrack. I was not expecting guys to be ripping it around the boards here at Charlotte, but that seems to be where everybody's running right now, is up on the high side. I thought it'd be more like a middle groove, maybe a slider line, maybe a diamond line, but kind of right now, Joe, it seems like everybody's going to be fighting to be on the high side and keep the momentum wound up in these race cars.
Absolutely. I kind of think I disagree with you, just for the sake, Jonathan, of saying that, like, I've seen racing happen at this racetrack, and you do eventually work up to the top, but once the top gets used up, then everybody starts moving back down. This is the type of racetrack where the middle comes into play. So once we get to the end of the 50 laps, I would not be surprised to see that, especially considering that we're going to keep these cars on track throughout this warm-up session this long into it. So they're going to use it up a bit while we're here. While we're also in this warm-up session, we have a minute. We want to thank all of our partners and sponsors for this series, helping us put the Southern Tier Elite Series out here for all of your viewing pleasure. Cacti Fabrication, HigFab Chassis, Precision Engine Service, Savage House Performance, Vertex Graphics, BRP TV, MDR Designs, Murder Graphics, the Inkfine Company, Creative Turnings, the Southern Ontario Dirt Show, and 47 Technology, all a big part of this program tonight. And we want to thank everybody who watches along every evening with us as we do these broadcasts and bring you the action. Tonight's action being the 50-lap Workin Man's 50, from, I would say, a good racetrack, Jonathan, for big block modifieds. The racing is always very good here when we come. Personally, I like Port Royal. I really like the way we raced at Lanier and Lucas Oil, but Charlotte is always a fantastic addition to schedules as well.
Yeah, obviously, it's kind of it feels like it's gaining status as a crown jewel facility for big block modifieds, obviously with the World Finals kind of capping off the season, right? Obviously, Super Dirt Week, I would say, is maybe the main crown jewel for the Super Dirt Car Series. It'd be interesting to see what Dirt Car Dean would highlight as some of the crown jewels or the events that you would want to win on that tour. But for me, Charlotte and Oswego, which is what we are, the two racetracks that we're going to visit to end off the season. Two great facilities. I mean, Eldora, too, which I wish was more, I wish they would go back to. I loved watching the modifieds there when they raced as the support series for the NASCAR Truck Series for a couple of those events.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be kind of cool to see the mods back on Eldora in the real world, but
yeah,
we'll see. I don't know. I kind of feel like this racetrack is going to evolve. I think you're right on the middle line. Do you think they buzz the top so that maybe they can get to the bottom, they can get to the middle a little earlier?
I think that's a reasonable. I think if there was anybody up there consistently trying to buzz it off, that was the intent. Yes, I think they want to get the top to the point where it has its dominant stage and then fades off. So, yes, I do think that was what probably they were thinking.
It's almost like when the IndyCar series runs the Highline practices.
Yes, yes. I also was thinking about what you said there about wanting to see the modifieds go back to Eldora, because it is interesting how modifieds are kind of they're basically the evolution of like that post-war boom of dirt racing in like the 50s, when people used to just go to junkyards and get like a old 1930s Ford, make it like get under it, get the engine running, and then go weld in a frame and go take it to a local racetrack. Like that evolved, that core piece of racing evolved into modifieds. So it's interesting, and admittedly it's kind of like a shame almost that modified racing has become so niche to New York and where the part of Canada you're from, Jonathan, like the Ontario scene, whereas it isn't quite as far reaching as like sprint cars. But
No, right? I'm looking at the schedule even right now, right? It's like you got a date at Mansfield, you got Hartford, Ohio. That's kind of fun that they're hitting that, but a lot of New York's, a lot of Ontario's on the Super Dirt Car Series schedule this year. Would love to see some more representation in PA and other spots, but that'll come, that'll grow, and I love what the Super Dirt Car Series has to offer. And shout out Dirk Cardine, but we're pacing the field here, Joe. It's about that time.
yes, it is. It is that time. And you look at it, who got the pole out of the 8-car invert? It was Anthony Roselli. So he finished third. Last time that we broadcasted from this facility, he will go from first this time. He's aside Anthony Perego starting second. Then you got Matthew Schultz and Gary Edwards in row number 2, two very strong contenders. You look back to row number 3. Probably your two top picks for the win, Cole Henschel alongside Isaac Salas. Then you've got Kenny Coe and Cody Higbee, your two heat race winners. Mikey Horton and Richard Ritchie make up row number 5. You go back to row 6, you've got Dylan Smith and Jeff Sharp beside each other. Bo Kerbo will start 13th, and 14th will be Dominic Roselli. Not a fantastic starting position for him. Brian Lawson in the red number 57 goes 15th. 16th for Dirk Cardine. 17th is Austin Smith. And the 883 of Bud Molyneux will take it up from shotgun on the field. We got 50 laps of coming to you. From the stand to Anthony Roselli, the flash bulbs go off, and we are racing here at the dirt track in Charlotte.
Field fans out through 1 and 2. Lots of jockeying for position. Roselli trying to hang on to the top spot on this opening lap. Looking pretty comfortable out front right now. That 7-car pacing the field, and good racing from second on back. Look at Schultz right down mowing the lawn a little bit with that left front. And he'll get a pretty good corner going there, Joe, on that inside.
Interesting pick, because I guess the racetrack just still has that much grip in it that everybody's still in the middle area instead of going to the top side. But interesting to see Matthew Schultz staying low. I don't know, honestly, if I would do that, but he's kind of staying in contention here. Maybe work in the bottom a little bit, get used to that part of the racetrack while everybody else is working in the top side. Already onto the 4th lap around this thing, and yep, there they all go up to the top. So that thing you said, Jonathan, earlier about wondering if they were buzzing in the top, I think they're trying to get it dialed in a little bit better now, because literally everybody was up there in turn 1.
Well, you just saw Perego try to throw a slider on Roselli. He was not clear again, not quite enough to sail it in there and clear up in front of the 7 for the lead. Henschel right there in the middle. I don't know if that's going to work out for him. He's got Isaac Salas coming right up the backside as well.
Oh, there he goes.
Edwards, oh no! Edwards gets turned. Can he save it? Oh no, that's going to turn into a yellow for sure.
Yellow flag out. We saw it kind of unfold. We'll go back to it again. We got 6 laps into this one, and unfortunately Gary Edwards III is going to be the name of the game for the caution. That's a tough break too, Jonathan, because it's almost, like, I hate to say it, but that's kind of a thing these days. Gary Edwards, unfortunately, just gets the bad luck of being part of the cautions early stages of these features lately.
And you know what? That's almost the punishment for not finishing towards the back half of the top 4, top 5 in a heat race is you have to start from the back, right? And you got more cars to pass, and Gary, it kind of just seems like he's the back half of the roller coaster. The bumper cars here, the accordion effect is going to stack them up. Henschel has to lift. Salas has to lift. Edwards is trying to stay off Salas. Kenny Coe. Just a little bit of contact there.
Yeah.
And, ooh, look at Higbee. Oh, Higbee got a piece of it.
Solid piece of it, too. And then he comes back up to Dominic Roselli, and Dean Reynolds has nowhere to go. Jeff Sharp's going to get a little piece of that as well. 79 car is going to go around. 88. Sharp gets a... There's some solid contact in this accident, Jonathan.
There's some big hits for some drivers. I feel like if we were giving away a bad luck award, I feel like Dominic Roselli is going to win the bad luck award for this season. I mean, he has not had a fun time in this particular series this year.
No, he has not. He's been in the midst of a lot of incidents, and unfortunately for Dominic, this is another one. He's missed a few races. He's been at the back a few races. Dominic was the guy when we did our Murder iRacing series last year, Jonathan, that we really thought could come together with a championship run. And this season hasn't quite gone his way. His brother, however, has taken the race lead here, and off the restart, Anthony Roselli will control the whole slew of these really fast drivers behind him.
Look at Cole Henschel down low, trying to make a move for the lead, though. Can't quite slide up the racetrack. It really looks like the bottom side struggles on corner exit. It looks like you have a really hard time if you run the bottom, getting up off the corner and keeping your speed wound up. Doesn't matter which end of the racetrack. Both sides seems like the bottom side is struggling, though. And Cole Henschel's going to fall back, actually. Anthony Parego's by. And now, look at Matt Schultz has not given up on that bottom side. He is committed to making it work.
Nope. If I found a girl that loyal, I would be very happy with the rest of my life. Matt Schultz has not come off the bottom quite yet. And maybe now he's starting to think the bottom isn't exactly it, so he goes to the middle, but Cole Henschel's making it work in front of him, too, at least to stay consistent with Parego in the fight for second place here. 3 wide behind him. Matthew Schultz just isn't going to give up on it. And maybe it's a long-term game. Maybe he's not trying to win the battle, but maybe it will play into winning the war.
Well, if everybody goes to the top side, I think it's just going to play into the hands of more accordioning. Necessarily, I don't know if that accordion effect is necessarily going to give a caution, but it's going to give an opportunity for somebody who's working the bottom side to maybe take advantage of the fact they're stacking up like they are right now from second on back. Here comes Salas with a move to the inside. He's going to try to get by Henschel. And there again, you can't beat the outside line right now when it comes to corner exit.
No, you can't. We're going to try to take it. Actually, you know what? Let's hit the 22 car. Let's go on board with Kenny Coe as he kind of works high line out of the turn. So this is turn 4 we're coming off of now. And this is going to be where we'll check this momentum, although maybe Cole Henschel isn't the best example of it because he's basically on the top side as well. But you can see Parego, and you can see us diving in with Salas coming in from the bottom as well. And then we're just going to get this momentum run. Parego gets it in front as well. Shows you, yeah, the top side is the place to be for the moment.
Yeah, you just can't quite complete the pass doing that. It's almost like on entry, it's almost like a shortcut when you go down there, right? Where the actual physical distance shortens up when you're not going to the extreme outside, but you just can't get the car to get the drive off you need from the bottom side of the racetrack, especially if you can't slide up in front of whoever it is that you're trying to make a pass. You almost need the entire racetrack to let the car drift up, and maybe you can make a pass, but I think right now it's all going to be about mistakes as we're starting to see a bit of a separation here for Anthony Roselli.
Yeah, I think that battle that was going on between Parego and Henschel and them has maybe given Anthony some breathing room, but Anthony's he's on it tonight. He really has Charlotte figured out. And then this group behind him, they're all battling amongst each other. That is going to help the 7 car make some separation as well. Salas there way too low into turn 3, and he's going to lose a little bit of momentum coming off of it. Kenny Coe will take advantage, and then you've got Henschel and Parego still going at it. We're 20 laps into this race, and those two have been attached at the hip the whole time so far. Parego on the top using the momentum, Cole Henschel using the lower line, using the shorter way around. It's still not really heating way to one or the other, Jonathan.
I'm starting to wonder, Joe, if maybe the play, and I haven't tried this myself, but maybe the play is actually you want to follow on the back side of the race car in front of you, and maybe at the center of the corner, that's where you pull down. Although we see it there, Cole Henschel throws the slider with great success. Parego, though, did exactly what I was talking about. Entered high, dove back down low, and that was able to allow him to get back by Henschel. I kind of feel like it's not about entering the corner low. It's about can you get the run down the hill, and maybe that's what can make you get enough momentum to get back to the inside of somebody and make a pass.
As you explain it, Perego just did the exact thing. Yellow flag comes out. Oh, don't hit the... Oh, okay, we got close to contact there. I think it's Gary Edwards again. That's tough for the 21 car, but I like, just as you were explaining it, Jonathan, that Perego kind of showed that it wasn't, like, it was working that way. And then Perego hit the wall, and it all kind of got squirrely. But nonetheless, we have a replay coming as once again... It's not the right button. Once again, it is Gary Edwards turned the opposite direction here, and we are going to switch camera here and check out what happened to the 21 car.
And this just goes to show how difficult it is to pass here at Charlotte. He's just trying to throw a slider, kind of dive to the inside of that 55. I wouldn't say throwing a slider, but you're just running out of real estate there trying to get by Richard Ritchie. I'm sure Edwards dealing with some frustration. This is your second place points runner, and Joe, he's just not had a good night here tonight, and it is hard to pass. It is very hard to get your way forward to the front of the field after you've had an issue, and that's exactly what the 21 is dealing with. Now, it does play into the favors of Cody Higbee, but still lots of time on the clock here. 22 laps on the board, over half this race to go. If anybody's going to make a charge from the back, I feel like it's that 21 Interstate Batteries car.
Yeah, he's kind of... I hate to say that we're getting close to running out of time, but we're almost halfway through this feature, and Gary Edwards has to reset and go from 18th again, which isn't going to be ideal. Cody Higbee, his main championship rival right at the moment, as they are just separated by a few points. Higbee in the 97 car running in 7th place at the moment. That's going to help the Iceless car, but the green flag will come back out. Anthony Roselli trying to jump back into immediate control of this race, and it looks like he's pretty much going to do so. Cole Henschel and Isaac Salas trying to make a run at the 44 car off of the restart here, and they are still bunched up enough that we should see Anthony Roselli be able to take whatever line he wants.
Yeah, but Henschel's lurking there, and here comes Perego with a run on the outside. Henschel's going to throw the slider. Maybe a bit of contact there. It was got awfully close, but clean and green, we stay. Roselli, though, has got to find some speed here. He's got two drivers banging down the back door trying to find a way by for the lead of this race.
Yep, and Perego's in the wall hard, and Salas is up on the wall, and a big crash, and Matthew Schultz gets airborne, and the yellow flag is going to come back out again, and that's taken two really strong competitors from the front end of this grid, and Schultz and Salas are both going to have to get those cars taken into the pits to get some repairs done after that wild ride here out of right on the halfway break of this race.
I don't want to be that guy, but I saw Gary Edwards got a piece of that one as well, unfortunately, Joe. Hopefully nothing major on that 21 car, because ideally this is kind of what Edwards would need. You got to have some guys stack up so you can maybe get some spots here for some freebies and get back in the mix a little bit, but it all starts with Perego. He's going to hit the wall sliding up there and just nowhere for Salas to go. He's got momentum, nowhere for Schultz to go.
Yeah, and then Dean comes in and throws Matthew Schultz up into the wall, and then that's tough. Sharp got a piece in there, at least spun around backwards. Salas was a real big loser in this situation. Like you said, the 14 car also, Austin Smith got a piece of it, and then Gary Edwards got a short piece of it as well. So there's about 6 cars involved in this one, Jonathan, and unfortunately, Matthew Schultz really looked good at the beginning, and Isaac Salas was looking really good too.
Yeah, again, this is the product you get when you have drivers who are all so good at the front of the field. Everybody's right on top of each other. They're all running lap times so similar. It's kind of almost just bound to happen, Joe.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And also, I mean, we saw Perego do it right before that yellow came out before, and then it happened a second time there right in front of Isaac Salas, where Perego's kind of trying to jump up and, like, park it on the wall, but he keeps getting in so hot that the rear end grips, and then he ends up understeering up into the wall, and that has happened twice now for him. So see if Perego can kind of get the grips on what's going on with the top line here, and we'll see if that gets avoided. Cole Henschel in a completely different starting position for this restart, and that momentum he carries off the top side, Jonathan, that's putting pressure on the Van Sickle Electric number 7.
Here comes a run to the
Oh.
outside. Roselli's going to try to block it.
Whoa.
Oh, it's really getting ugly now at the front. Oh, they're all stacking up.
Huge crash.
Who's involved?
Huge crash.
Bo Kerbo, I think, was at the center of it.
So the yellow is immediately back out. No question. We're gonna have to dissect that one. That was a lot.
Yeah, that was a weird one.
Yeah. All right, I'll have to get back a couple spots here. So we'll check out. So this is Austin Smith. He was a big part of this incident, but I want to go back to Cole Henschel. Let's go back to Cole Henschel. So this is going to be coming into the last set of corners before this happens, and I think what you're going to see Henschel get a fantastic run, and then you're going to see the 7 car kind of fade up, and there's not going to be enough room for the 2 of them, and then that's going to get Henschel all out of whack, and then so here's where that happens. And then the interesting thing is Perego and Co come together as a result of that concern. Throws Higbee inside. Perego's all loose. And then that gets Dylan Smith loose. Bo Kerbo, Dean Reynolds get into that. And then Gary Edwards, Bo's almost over. I think every single yellow we've had has had Gary Edwards involved. And then Austin Smith hits this tire in the inside of the field, too.
Yeah, Isaac Salas got a piece of that as well as Matt Schultz, too. So a lot of guys' nights just going from bad to worse here, and there's going to be some damaged race cars, and I think there's some used up resets as well, so that's not going to be great for some of our competitors.
Yeah.
Although, a guy like Gary Edwards, I think looking at the points, even if he has a bad night tonight, he's only thrown away 25 points as his drop, so I feel like maybe Gary.
No.
Get lucky.
We had
all stacked up.
Yeah, that was a rough race. That's oof. Are we staying green with that?
Back?
I think we're staying with it, Jonathan. That was a wonky restart. Single file off of it, trying to keep things clear, and Henschel hesitated a little bit, and then it all just kind of spongy corded together.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about that one, but I mean, if the second place driver doesn't go, that's kind of on them, right? So, I mean, leader went, and he's trying to run away and hide because Henschel clearly has some speed here, and he's got the top side working. I'm surprised that Roselli's kind of given that to him, I mean, now you'll see Henschel cross over and go to the inside, but especially that last time through 1 and 2, I'm like, well, if I'm Roselli, I am not leaving that much room at the top for Henschel to get the run, especially through the center of the corner like he just did there.
Yeah, 100%. You said trying to run away, and it's like I'm seeing on my screen, I'm like, yeah, Anthony Roselli's not going to run away with this now. Cole Henschel right in tow like that. Perego's there too still, but I think Perego's a little bit faded off compared to the 4 car at this point in the race. And then you've got Kenny Coe, who's just been solid all night, just kind of lurking on the outside of the podium steps. But Cole Henschel is absolutely here and maybe biding his time a little bit. Anthony Roselli tried to use that car up as much as he could earlier to stay in the race lead. But with these yellows bringing them back together, I think Cole Henschel might be in the catbird seat, Jonathan.
And I guess the one thing I can say about the line that
yellow.
Roselli is we've got a car around and there's the yellow. Before we go to the replay, Joe, I'm just going to say that the line with that Roselli's running is it does defend against that move that we saw Anthony Perego do where you ride in on the outside and then cut to the middle, kind of middle off of the corner. So I guess maybe that's a defensive line as well, but it's Gary Edwards again.
Tonight is the very bad, no good night for Gary Edwards.
No, this is not a good time to be driving the Interstate Batteries 21 car tonight.
Oof. Tough hit for Austin, too. That's a hard lick for the 14.
Molyneux, too, got a huge hit to the outside there.
Yeah, Molyneux, definitely. That was tough for the 883 car. These guys, it's a kind of the tail end of the field situation here with all of them. And then I like this with Molyneux. Thank you for just kind of sitting still, let the field come around you. When they come back around here, you see them all starting to do the evasive action. But, man, just tough for second place in points. Just a hard night for Gary Edwards. Probably.
And, I mean, we haven't talked about him a lot. We did see him kind of involved in one of those incidents, but this does give Cody Higbee a chance to at least take over the second spot. Now, he's still behind Cole Henschel, so the 97's got some work to do if he's going to gain any points and make it interesting for the championship next week. But, I mean, Higbee's looming there.
Higbee can come together. There are enough laps left in this race to see the 97 car start to do stuff, especially considering we're coming off of a restart here. I wouldn't count him out. And also, might I add, bad start to the night. Dominic Roselli's in 6th place now, too.
Holy, yes, you're right.
We got a race on our hands here, Jonathan, to come back to green.
We've got some great recovery stories already happening right now. And look at Higbee with a run to the bottom side. Henschel and the 44 of Perego dueling for second. Anthony Perego is committed to the bottom side on this restart. Track maybe starting to change up. Maybe that bottom is going to come in and start to be the spot where you can make something happen. Roselli's moved to the inside, maybe middle, we'll call it. Now a dive to the inside. Henschel's going to throw the slider. How does Roselli react? Can he get back to the inside? I don't think he can do it. That's a good pass from Henschel. Oh, caution at the back.
Yellow flags come out. We'll have to wait and see who gets put in the lead by timing and scoring when we bring this one back. I don't think we got the lap counted there, but Bud Molyneux, Dylan Smith, we're going to pull the replay out. We'll see what happens here. So I don't really know who to start with, but we're going to follow Molyneux through turns 3 and 4, excuse me. Oh, whoa. Okay, we got to show what goes on in front of them. That's Dylan Smith. I'm going to bring this backwards a few steps here again. Yeah, just on his own, I guess, Jonathan? I don't know. No, not on his own.
No, not quite.
Yep, Roselli gives him a tap, and then the 15S goes around, and then Gary Edwards gets a piece of it. Dean Reynolds gets a huge chunk. Bud Molyneux comes in from there. So, yep, the streak stays alive. Gary Edwards has been involved in all of the incidents, but much less this time than Dylan Smith and Dean Reynolds. Those were two pretty hard licks, especially 15S got hit by about every other car involved in this accident. That's tough, especially from the track position he was in.
Man, it has been one of those nights that every time I feel like a guy is starting to put together a good little run, like we saw Richard Ritchie have a great little heat performance. He's been involved in accidents. Gary Edwards obviously came into the night high hopes that he could eat into that championship advantage Cole Henschel has. Not going to be the story now. Kind of a weird night, especially from some of our heavy hitters, but a lot of guys have made their way back into it. Look at Isaac Salas is even on the outside of the top 5 knocking on the door for a good finish here now.
Yeah, Salas has kind of recycled his way back up towards the front. As we come back down the back straightaway, we'll be inside of 15 laps to go here. Roselli cannot hold Henschel back, and for the second time, Cole Henschel uses the outside to his advantage. He will take the lead, and he will confidently take it this time as we get the lap counted with the 4 car in front.
Good move from Cole Henschel there to get to the lead. Now from the outside, it doesn't look like Anthony Roselli's got the pace to run the outside. Like, it's almost like he just doesn't quite get it off the corner the way some of the other guys who have gone to the high side of the racetrack to make moves can. But maybe something on that middle will hook up in these final 12 or so laps that Roselli can take the fight back to Henschel.
Oh, Perego did the same thing again. That's the 3rd time we've caught him on camera. Perego he gets into the turn as hot as he can, but that rear tire just kind of catches the wall and sucks itself in, and the rest of the car goes with, and then backs up everybody else behind him. Now, this time he will stay off of the wall. Isaac Salas does not do the same, and the momentum that he carries puts Isaac Salas in a position for a slider maybe as he dives in deep. You're not going to clear. And there's a battle going on behind as well with Roselli and Kenny Coe and Bo Kerbo going... Bo Kerbo almost went 2 for 1 in turn 4. That was crazy. And he's going to go 3 for 1 this time.
Wow, great racing for the spot here at the back. Gary Edwards made a great move there to get himself back in this. Kind of where did he come from? I mean, he's hit everything What a grand slam tonight. Oh. And oh no, now Roselli puts him in the fence. Or goes up into the fence and puts the Kenny Ko 22 in the fence. It's chaos in these closing laps behind our leader Henschel.
I'm starting to think, Jonathan, the bottom's coming into play more because Kenny Ko, oh, here we go. That's backing him up a bit. You go sideways like that, you'll fall backwards too. But Brian Lawson's managed to get around a couple of these guys just by staying on the bottom. That's what Bo Kerbo did. Now up into 7th place. I mean, Bo Kerbo is freaking rolling the bottom right now. Look at this. He can catch up to Cody Higbee right now. That's insane.
What a run. What a recovery here. But, man, what a night for Cole Henschel. I mean, I don't want to distract from some of these battles at the back half of the field that we're watching and keeping an eye on now. But, I mean, Cole Henschel was just so patient, so methodical, and eventually found the line, found the pace that he needed to get to the front. And this just might be the exclamation point on a championship season here. Now, it's not over yet, and Roselli is lurking there. I don't want to say that he's closing in, but oh, we've got a caution, Joe.
Yep. I think Jeff Sharp, Kenny Ko might be involved in this. We're going to have to check it out. I don't know off top of the dome who brought this one out, but I can tell you that this... Oh, we're going way too far back here. Hold on. Okay, this is not going to be the yellow. Apologies. We're going to get this situated, and we'll jump back on the replay and see what we can find. I think Sharp is going to be a part of this, yes. So we're going to jump back a little bit further than we probably need to show what's going on, but this will show that fantastic battle that we were checking out for a moment there. Schultz, Reynolds, Sharp, Dylan Smith, and then we'll come out of turn 4 and see what happens to the 28 machine. Horton's all the way up in the wall. Dean Reynolds gets into the back of Schultz. This is probably where it's going to start, Jonathan, is the Schultz, number 24, comes down into the side of Jeff Sharp. And then we'll see.
There's nowhere to go.
Yeah, and then he's going to slide up the racetrack here.
It's like you want to save it. You wish you could save it, but sometimes as soon as you try to catch the car right, it's just going to over-rotate back to the right. That's kind of what happened for Sharp there.
Yep. Kenny Ko has parked it, by the way, just to throw it in there. Kenny Ko is off the racetrack as we're getting ready to get back to green here. And I think Jeff Sharp also might have gone to the trailer that time. Tough break. Tough break.
Chaos ensuing. Final 5 laps, single file restart. Kind of anything could happen here, Joe. I mean, I feel like Cole Henschel's got this locked up, but every time I think I know what's going to happen in this particular race, well, they surprise me. Good start there from the 4 car. He gets a great jump on Roselli, and he will drive off with the top spot through 1 and 2.
Yeah, Cole Henschel, holy moly, that was a good restart for the 4 car. Just took it away from Anthony Roselli. That's got to hurt the ego of that 7 car as they come back to 3 laps to go. I think the field's kind of trying to stay a little bit clean right now. You've got that train on the top side behind your leader. Perego is in 3rd, Isaac Salas 4th, Cody Higbee 5th, then Dominic Roselli. Then you've got a battle between Gary Edwards and Bo Kerbo back there. 2 laps to go around. Cole Henschel leads the way again. And a big slide from Perego from 2nd place over Anthony Roselli. And the 2 Anthonys will battle down the backstretch as Anthony Roselli is going to look at the bottom side again. 1 lap to go, presented by Precision Engine Service to Cole Henschel, and the battle for 2nd edges on.
Good battle here. How about Anthony Perego up to 2nd? How about Isaac Salas now? Can he make a podium recovery to his night? Cody Higbee lurking back there as well as they are coming to the checkered flag. How is this one going to play out? Henschel wins it. Perego, and I think it's Roselli doing just enough to hang on to the final spot on the podium. Great racing from the Charlotte Dirt Oval.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, that was all Cole Henschel at the end there. Fantastic little battle between the 2 Anthonys, and then Isaac Salas jumped into that as well, as they will park them on the front straightaway here, and we will get ready to talk to the trio who ended up at the top step. So Cole Henschel parked it down there, and the 2 Anthonys as well. Isaac Salas will end up 4th, and Cody Higbee will end up 5th. Looks like we're going to need an extra minute to get those drivers out of the cars, get the helmets off, maybe get a drink of water or something. So I'm going to pull first the unofficial results of tonight's race with Cole Henschel at the top step, Perego and Roselli. We will talk to the two of them as well as our race winner. Isaac Salas fourth. Cody Higby holds on to fifth. That's going to help him in the points. Dominic Roselli rebounds to sixth. Bo Kerbo with a fantastic run to seventh. And then you've got Gary Edwards the third, Brian Lawson, Dean Reynolds ends out the top 10, Dylan Smith 11th, Mikey Horton 12th, Matthew Schultz, Richard Ritchie, Austin Smith, Bud Molyneux, Jeff Sharp, Kenny Coe. Jeff Sharp and Kenny Coe went to the trailers early. Jonathan, looks like we've got our winner ready, and if you're ready for him, we will give a microphone to Cole Henschel.
Yeah, let's bring in Cole here and talk about his patient effort to finish at the top of the podium. There he is. Cole Henschel, your winner tonight. How's it going, brother?
I'm good. How are you guys?
We're not too bad. We had a great time enjoying what was a bit of a chaotic show towards the back half of the field and even some chaos up front, but you managed to keep it clean and keep it patient to eventually work by Roselli and win this thing.
Yeah, it's for how wide the track is, it races so narrow. And I had a slip up trying to get to the outside of Anthony in like the middle of the race, and I almost ruined my race. But luckily, we were able to keep it straight and just wait till it was the right time to get a run and go forward.
Now, talk to us a bit about the racetrack itself. We were kind of waiting to see if the top side would ever truly burn out here, and it never seemed to really happen. But you kind of had to find a way off the top side to make passes at different points.
Yeah, I really thought the bottom was going to be more of a factor here early. But the top came in. The middle was really good. Anthony was really good in the middle. Top came in. I thought it was going to burn off too with the amount of guys we had and probably 90% of guys running it. But, it held on long enough to help me.
A great effort here tonight. You get the win. Definitely doing a lot of work here towards closing out a championship. I don't think you've necessarily clinched it heading into the final night, but you're going to have a pretty comfortable margin. What does it feel like going into this final week in championship position, so to speak?
Yeah, it feels good. I feel like I really needed this one to give me the space I needed with Gary, especially with him getting caught up early. It's a good feeling, being able to run consistent and race against friends and guys you race with, in real life. It's just a lot of fun and excited for Oswego, then excited to get some real world racing going on the week after.
That's coming up real quick. Enjoy this one, and we'll see you next weekend to see if you can close out the title. There he is from the top step of the podium, Cole Henschel, your winner here tonight.
And after Cole Henschel, I'm going to get to talk to the driver of the 44 car as Anthony Perego jumps in. Anthony Perego, we got you here on BRP TV. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, Anthony, you had a good car, I'd say. You kind of, unfortunately, no matter the point in this race, I'd say you were a solid third, fourth place car. Talk to me about keeping up with the racetrack and trying to keep up with those guys in front of you throughout the 50 laps.
Yeah, we had a really good battle there with Cole Henschel, and I think when he got by me, that was kind of the race. He had a really good car, and obviously Anthony Roselli also. Just tough to keep it out of the wall up in 1 and 2, 3 and 4. You seem to have a lot more track to work with, but all in all, good night.
Talk to me about that racetrack, because Jonathan and I were trying to keep up with kind of the track state throughout the night, and it seemed like there was a lot of top dominant time, and then there was sort of a point where people started moving off. I mean, you were the guy who I saw on the stream a lot trying to really dive into the top side, and it ended up biting you a few times. Like, talk to me about that top side throughout the entirety of the feature race, and if you were surprised by how long it held out.
Yeah, when I was battling with Cole Henschel there, it definitely was giving me a good run off of turn 2, but I figured if you could move up in 3 and 4 and grab it earlier, maybe you'd have a better run, but it just seemed like that middle was keeping more momentum, and that's how Cole got by me. And, there was some guys working the bottom there. Cody Higby, he snuck up underneath me, and I tried to do that when we kind of got jumbled up on a restart, but it just wasn't there. But like I said, good night. I got to thank my man Larry for practicing with me this week, and see you guys next week.
That sounds like a plan, Anthony. Anybody else that you want to shout out and thank here on the broadcast for getting yourself into second place this evening?
We just got to thank Larry. He's the man.
Larry's the man. That's what I like to hear. Well, Anthony propels you into the top 5 in the championship hunt. We'll be looking forward to seeing what you can do with Oswego next time.
All right, we'll see you guys next week.
That's what we like to hear. And Jonathan, we will hand off to another Anthony, and you'll get to talk to the curator of the Southern Tier Elite Series and Mr. Anthony Roselli.
Anthony Roselli, it's Jonathan up at the booth. You got a copy, brother?
Yes, I do.
Well, there you go. Another podium finish on the season. Talk to us about the drive area. It looked like you were in the catbird seat to close it out with maybe a clean sweep, but couldn't quite hold off Henschel there in the end.
Yeah, it gave me a deja vu of last year here in the Murder Graphics iRacing series, where I led quite a lot of laps running the exact same line. I really felt like I could have held Cole off there, but unfortunately I picked the bottom on that one of the later restarts where I lost the lead. Really wish I would have took the top, but I listened to another Roselli that convinced me to take the bottom there. So kind of kicking myself, but nonetheless a good run. Once I was able to get up to the top there at the end, I felt like I was just as fast, or maybe a little faster than Cole, but just essentially just wrong lane choice there on that one restart. Really costed us, but nonetheless a really good night finally.
Were you surprised at how dominant and how much the top side of the racetrack stayed being the fast spot tonight?
Yeah, it honestly, the last 15 or so laps, it was a lot more dominant than I thought it would, because there was still so much brown on the bottom of the racetrack. I at least thought it was going to come back in. But it really showed at the top, especially up in 1 and 2, was really fast. When I moved up there at the end of the race, I really was able to hook it up. That's where I was making a lot of my time back on Cole. But that's racing and it's fun. Once we made a caution tonight, unfortunately, I felt like we kind of stayed green. Maybe if it would have taken another turn, but hey, that's racing for you though.
Well, great effort here, and you're back on a podium, so we got to give you an opportunity to shout out some folks who you want to thank for what's been a great season for yourself and a great season for the series altogether here as we're heading towards one more week left on the schedule.
Yeah, man, I'd just like to thank you guys. Everything you do for our league, you guys put on a great broadcast. Our league wouldn't be as awesome as it would be without you guys. Got to thank Dom, Cody, and Brendan Finley. If Brendan wasn't here tonight, he's out clearing the roads for us, keeping them safe, so he wasn't able to make it tonight. But thank those guys for helping out, making this league what it is, and all sponsors on the car: Van Cycle Electric, Hollywood Towing and Auto, Mobile Metals, Fastline Performance. Everyone that helps it out. My wife for letting me stay up here one too many hours than she probably likes, but hey, what can you do?
Enjoy the evening. Enjoy the week. We'll do it one more time next week, brother. And congratulations again on the third place finish. Anthony Roselli bringing home the 7-car in P3. Joe, I mean, it was kind of a tough night for some heavy hitters, but kind of a story of some comebacks as well.
Yeah, we saw the 80 car come back up to the front. We saw that really fantastic run from Bo Kerbo. Gary Edwards kind of got back up into the hunt at the end of it as well. Saw Salas have some tribulations come to. We saw a lot of movement, ups and downs, and that's kind of what happens when you have races that get into that caution train like we kind of had in the second half of this one. But it was interesting to keep it in check, and it was interesting to see somebody, especially like Gary Edwards, getting caught up so consistently in those incidents, to still be able to move the car forward and get back up into the swing of things. It did not help Gary Edwards in the championship hunt. The points unofficially look like Gary has officially lost the second place position, but he's not out of contention for it. Cody Higbee has about a 3-point lead, and then Cole Henschel's lead off of that is about 35 points. So really, basically, Cole Henschel shows up next time he's a champion. Not really going to be anything about it, but Gary Edwards, Cody Higbee, Isaac Salas getting in the picture, those guys are going to be the ones to watch for Oswego with that championship hunt, Jonathan. But at least it'll keep it exciting for all of us as we come back next time.
Yeah, there's definitely a ton of storylines to keep an eye on heading into the final week. And, I talked about at the start of the night, it was a night where you just can't beat yourself. We saw Gary Edwards get himself in some incidents. A couple of other drivers find themselves in incidents. Cole Henschel did the exact opposite. He took care of business, kept his nose clean, capitalized when the opportunity to make a pass for the lead was presented to him, and he wins it, and he, like I said, is in the catbird seat to close out this championship, barring nothing crazy happening. I'm not going to rule it out. I feel like we've seen and said things like that in past broadcasts that we've done where we thought the championship was wrapped up, and then all of a sudden something happens in that final week.
That is true. We have seen people like not show up or have. Wasn't it Higbee that had the really bad issues here?
He choked it. Well, I don't want
Yeah.
to say choked. It's a little harsh, but he got himself in a couple of incidents, and I believe it was Ryan Beagle that was able to steal that win away for
Yeah.
the title
Yeah.
in that particular year when Cody Higbee was in the catbird seat heading into the
Yeah.
final night.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah, absolutely. Like, anything is possible. We could see any sort of incident or whatever happen, but really, Cole Henschel is in a good spot. I would be pretty confident if I were driving that 4 car. So, yeah, we'll kind of have to see what the rest of them do. Also interesting, coming into tonight, Hunter Lapp was in 5th in points, and he was not a part of the show tonight, actually. His first missed race in a while. So the 60 car dropped a few spots back, and then it kept, like, we saw Dean Reynolds here after a few weeks off that he's holding on to a top 10 position in points. So, yeah, it's kind of a shakeup, kind of interesting. We'll see what happens at the end of it. But that's the entirety of the Working Man's 50 from the virtual dirt track at Charlotte for BRP TV, bringing you the Southern Tier Elite Series. We hope everybody enjoyed, and I see that Mama Roselli was watching for Dominic and Anthony. Dominic just kind of had a rough night, but Anthony had a good night, so at least Mom's got something to be happy about this time, and maybe Dominic will bring it to us next time. Who knows? But next time is the finale. It is the finale from Oswego. That is one of, if not the ultimate racetrack for us to bring the Southern Tier Elite Series Championship to a close at. The race scheduled for February 1st, 75 laps is on the cards. So you're going to want to make sure you subscribe to the BRP TV YouTube channel and hit the bell icon to get the notifications for when that race goes live. But you can expect it at 8 p.m. 1 week from tonight. We also want to thank Cacti Fabrication, HigFab Chassis, Precision Engine Service, Savage House Performance, Vertex Graphics, Murder Designs, and MDR Designs, the Inkvine Company, Creative Turnings, 47 Technology, and the Southern Ontario Dirt Show for being a part I got choked up, of the program every week. We want to thank everybody who comes out on YouTube to watch with us each time. One more in the cards for us from Southern Tier. So thank you to Anthony Roselli for being part of it as we go. And ladies and gentlemen, it's always a pleasure to be here with you. Stay warm as this snowstorm hits basically every part of the country except Florida. And hopefully all of us will keep power, keep safe, and be ready to come back in 1 week's time. Joe Donahue and Jonathan Howe signing off for now.